At 4ZZZ, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we broadcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging of the Turrbal and Jagera people. We acknowledge that their sovereignty over this land was never ceded.
And we stand in solidarity with them.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
Good morning. You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ. I'm Cai, and I use they, she pronouns.
I'm Ez. I use he, him pronouns.
And yeah, we're Transmission. We amplify the voices of the gender diverse and trans folk here in Meanjin and beyond, bringing you news and local events and some hot topics.
We've also got like a really cool guest in today. We've had them on before, but you know.
Yes, dear friend of the show.
Oh,
your mic's not actually on yet. Sorry.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hi, Marisa.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What pronouns do you use, Marisa?
I use they, them pronouns.
Awesome. We love it.
We've got you in talking about a special topic today too, which we'll get right into after we get through the events and news.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of events
Yes, heaps
coming
here.
up. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's Pride Month, right?
Yeah, it's Pride Month not here in Australia, but everyone seems to really run with it, so we just suck it up now and go with it, I guess.
Yeah, it's becoming Pride Month in June more and more.
Yeah.
Even though we have different Pride Months throughout the country, I guess we can just have like Pride Year every year.
Pride Year.
Forever.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. We'll just do that. So we've got two giveaways this episode.
Yeah, two separate giveaways for different events, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So what's this? Do you want me to do the first one? Or you want to do the first one?
I mean, I can do the first one. So
Okay.
we've got two balcony seats to give away for Brisbane Pride's 62nd annual Queen's Ball 2023, which will be on this Saturday, the 17th of June at 6:30 p.m. at the Brisbane City Hall. So with a history spanning 60 long years, the Queen's Ball is Queensland's premier awards night for people of diverse genders and sexualities, and the longest continuously running event of its kind in the world, originating on Tambourine Mountain in the Gold Coast hinterland as a night of fun and frivolity in a time when it was still illegal to be gay. The event has continued to evolve year after year. This year's awards will be hosted by Paul Wheeler and Chocolate Box, and I actually couldn't find any more information about who else will be performing throughout the night, so might be a surprise. We'll see. Tickets are still available for purchase for $42 approximately for the balcony, and some odd seats on tables for $145, which includes dinner and drinks. But we have two tickets to give away today, so that's pretty exciting.
The two tickets for the balcony, so that won't get you down on the main floor.
No
but
dinner.
they're donated to us by the wonderful CJ from Locked In. So thank you so much, CJ, for donating the transmission, so that one of you lovely people out there can take a date to Queen's Ball. Hopefully Transmission wins one of the three categories that we're nominated in.
That's right, we're nominated.
Yeah, so we'll be there. I did put a word out on my personal social media being like, I can't afford to go, but someone wonderful, QC, Queensland Council for LGBTQI Health, has actually donated, thank you Dylan, 2 seats for Katie and I to attend. So yeah, we're going to be there at Queen's Ball. Hopefully, if you want to win 2 tickets to Queen's Ball, maybe you should message in when you can on 0420 626 733. One of the hosts for Queen's Ball, the first person to message one of the hosts that we mentioned just before, wins 2 tickets to Queen's Ball. So yeah, text in on 0420 626 733. We'll check back in later in the episode to see who won.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's right. Also, the theme this year is Wear Your Pride. So get your colours ready.
Yeah.
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 So another event on this weekend, who would have guessed, the Queen's Ball After Party, which will be at the Wickham this Saturday, 17th of June from 9 p.m. onwards. Free entry all night. You don't need to have actually gone to Queen's Ball. I think. You
can just rock up to the
You
Wickham.
could just rock up. So the Wickham is throwing the after party for this year's Queen's Ball celebrations. Catch Disco Inferno on the Garden Bar stage from 10:30pm with DJ Zane, or head upstairs to our Garland Room for a dance party like no other with DJ Richie Lestrange and special guest Ducky Darling.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Ooh.
So, it's like, There's also celebrating and supporting LGBTQIA+ young people, location which is in Toowoomba City Library on Friday 23rd at 10 a.m. It's completely free. Join Inclusive Counselling Collective for an exploration of the best ways to support and connect with your child or young person. Having worked extensively with LGBTQIA+ young people, we want to provide insight into the ways LGBTQIA+ young people have told us they wish their carers connected with or supported them, and offer a non-judgmental space to ask questions. So that will be this Friday at Toowoomba City Library. Next Friday. Next Friday, 23rd of June, 10 a.m. And that's completely free.
Yeah, sorry. No, I know we were previously just doing events for the week, but I've done it for the month.
Yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Well, I mean, for the next event, they often sell out, so I want to give people a heads up.
Sapphics, oh my goodness.
Yeah, Sapphics
Usually
has
sell
got
out.
a double denim disco, which is at the Queen's Bar, which is 368 Brunswick Street in the Valley, on Friday 23rd of June from 7:30pm. Tickets you can get them online for $15 plus booking fee, and there will be limited tickets available on the door, so it's good to get in soon. They're still announcing DJs for that one, but we love Sapphics. It's always a good queer time and an explicitly trans-friendly event.
There's also June Queer Trans Clothing Swap, which is in Broadbeach community down Sunshine Boulevard, so Broadbeach, Gold Coast Way, on Sunday the 25th of June from 1 till 3 p.m. It's completely free. Come along to the Trans Queer Clothing Swap at Broadbeach Space, presented by Gold Coast Rainbow Communities. Bring your old clothes, accessories, makeup, or anything else that you want to trade with people in the community. So that's Sunday the 25th of June. It's completely free. Bring your queer clothes. Go on. Do it.
I know every single trans person out there having to get a whole new wardrobe. I've heard all of my friends say, and I have said myself, we should just have a clothing swap, like everyone's just swap your gender, swap your clothes,
I know, I've been thinking of doing this at my house, actually.
Yeah.
So, it'll pending thought.
So that'll be cool. I'm glad someone's got around to organising one. Anyway, so then in news, an update from our favourite journo, Alexis Pink, from our 4ZZZ News Coordinator. I worded that well. The Births, Deaths and Marriages Amendments are number one on the agenda for Queensland Parliament, and they are expected to pass this week, pending the date that it actually takes effect. So it's expected to go to a vote on Wednesday.
Yo!
Very exciting.
I want to change my birth certificate. Yo!
So this will just be for people who are born in Queensland. It's by state, so...
Yay.
Yay, yeah. Eventually we'll get it around the country.
My friend who had his changed was in Canberra, and it was just like, made a phone call, it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Okay, that's
nice.
fair.
Yep, nice for them. I think Victoria's pretty cruisy too, but I don't know about the other states. I think
Yeah, I don't know about the other states either.
work still needs to be done.
Double pass. There's another giveaway. So if you are still on the Queen's Ball, don't forget, text in 0420 626 733 if you want to double pass the balcony, you and a friend. Text in. You've got to make sure you tell me a name of one of the hosts. Otherwise, I'll have to read the bio again later, and then someone will pick it up. But this one is Desire Maria. So it's double passes at the Powerhouse this Thursday, 15th of June. Hit the floor in your full majesty with... this Thursday, 15th of June, the proudly queer South African artist comes to Meanjin with a 5-piece band, his new record, On the Romance of Being, and songs that sonically sprawl post-gospel, spiritual jazz, and his ancestors' ancient music. So this is supported by the Jazz House and Ziggy Maybe. Diag? I can speak today, it's fine. Desire will have you melting on the dance floor. That's this Thursday, 15th of June at the Powerhouse. If you want to message in the nation that he's from, where's he from? On 04206 449. 0420 626 733. Text in on that, and you win a double pass to Desire at Powerhouse this Thursday. Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. I nearly gave out my own personal phone number on air. It's totally fine. I do this. Did I ever tell you that I accidentally gave... Someone asked me for my phone number. It was a flirt. And my phone number is so similar to the 4ZZZ text line. I gave them the text line. And I never heard from them. I assumed someone messaged in once. And they were like, I'm sorry, your request to hang out with Ez is not happening, right?
Someone just texting into Zed, hey, baby, you want to get a drink sometime?
It's like whoever was on air would have been like, yeah, dude.
You looked really hot the other night.
Anyway, yeah.
Lastly, for the news, there's a research call out by a local musician and trans person looking for transgender or non-binary musicians currently performing live as part of a metal group. So they say, I am a transgender metal performer currently working on a study looking into the live performance of transgender metal musicians and how us being trans affects our performance. Previously, much of the research about us hasn't included transgender people in its creation, and so this research is actively focused on centering trans people and their experiences. We will post more information about this and how you can get in touch for this research call out on our Facebook and our social media at Trans Radio.
Yep.
And we'll post more about all of the other events that we've mentioned today as well.
Amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Mianjin, Brisbane and beyond.
Transmission on 4ZZZ brings you the latest in trans community news, music and events.
Every Tuesday from 9am till 10am.
Join our team of hosts for an hour of celebrating the unique perspectives of the trans community.
Transmission, Tuesday mornings from 9am till 10am on 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ. My name's Cai and I use they, she pronouns.
My name is Ez. I use he, him pronouns.
And my name's Marisa. I use they, them pronouns.
Awesome. We will be getting into talking about rainbow capitalism with Marisa in a moment. But first of all, I wanted to remind you all to text in to 0420 626 733 for your chance to win either a double pass for Desire Maria at the Powerhouse on Thursday, 15th of June, or 2 balcony seats to the Queen's Ball, which is this Saturday night, the 17th of June at 6:30pm at the Brisbane City Hall.
First person to message in for either one of them, just say hi. You have to be a 4ZZZ subscriber, of course. It's yours. One of either. Just say which one you want. We've got to give them away. The tickets are free. Come on.
Yeah.
They're all queer. It's all fun.
They're bonuses for listening to us.
Yeah, you get brownie points with transmission. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
I don't know if it's worth much, but you get it.
And so let's get into our conversation with Marisa on rainbow capitalism.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. This is one of my hyper focuses, so I'm really happy to be here talking about this.
It's just like, I was asking you previously off air, like, if you wanted to come on Transmission more, what would you talk about? It's like, oh yeah, my, autistic special interests. Capitalism.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's great, let's do it.
Which does in so many ways intersect with being, gender diverse and queer, like there's so much to talk about, so many threads to unpick.
Also, like, how capitalism is specifically affecting, trans communities. But we're going to get right into it. I'm going to leave it up to you. So, how is capitalism?
How is it treating the queers?
How's it going?
Well, I think capitalism is interesting to talk about because, a lot of us still have this idea in our head that it's mainly goods and services based. That's how money is predominantly made. But actually, we're living in this incredibly aesthetic economy where there's all of this content and all of this aesthetic recombination going on, aesthetic innovation and self-expression that is really driving profits, for different people in good ways where it's independent creators making profit, but also in some not good ways where it's big corporations making profit by platforming new aesthetics by queer creatives and other people, but maybe that wealth not running down to the people who are making it.
Yeah, and so when we think of I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example, but if there's someone who's a queer creator creating content, creating anything, right? Mm-hmm. And then they want to make a living off of that, then they have to then it's almost like capitalism takes away the authenticity of creation because you're then turning it into a marketing product, right? Because you got to then sell yourself, right? In quotations. So how does that work in terms of like the relationship between, is there a difference between like people buying stuff from queer creators and is stuff actually getting back to them, or, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I would say like definitely buy from independent creators directly because, you know, when I say I'm an anti-capitalist, I'm not anti-people selling what they're going to sell. That's not really what I'm talking about. But what is a problem is that a lot of really big corporations have sort of weaseled their way into the middle between the producer and the consumer. So like Spotify, Netflix, Amazon, and they're like kind of financially set up to screw the creator.
Yeah.
You know? And if you're, for example, if you're a writer, you have to have your stuff on like Amazon Kindle or something in order to find an audience, but then they actively structure their business so that you don't get as much of
There's
that
a very
wealth.
similar thing and set up with games and getting your independent games platformed on any gaming console.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a few companies out there. Like if you're an indie developer, you want to be in people's hands, right, with your little tiny makeshift thing. But how do you do that? The only thing that has that market is Nintendo.
Yeah.
With your handheld portable device. I mean, there's new things now like Steam Deck and such, but that's the same kind of principle of like, you can buy an independent game on Steam for like $10, but that same game will be twice the price on Nintendo.
Yeah,
because
it's
that's just how
definitely
it
a
works.
trend that I'm sure you see like all across the creative industries,
Yeah.
especially other industries too, but the creative industries, it's like chronic for it. And especially because the work of being a creative is so personal and people are so passionate about it, often we will accept less than what we're worth.
With what do you think of just broadly now, what do you think capitalism does to queer communities, like broadly?
I mean, I think it appropriates from them a lot. I think it kind of abstracts the aesthetics away, and, you know, people who maybe are more palatable to the mainstream might take those aesthetics and use them, but not really. That wealth doesn't really like drip down to the people that actually produced it in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it also like it loses meaning, right? Like as soon as things become corporate, it gets like overly sanitized, and then abstract from its original intent.
Yeah, and a lot of those were community contexts, you know, and subcultural contexts that have a history, they have meaning, they have legacies of fight in them as well, and resistance.
Well, like the rainbow flag, it's, you know, it's a really like neat little thing that you can put on your icon. I can't remember what brand or company it was, but someone with probably a intern that's underpaid on Twitter, they made their, you know, profile icon two men kissing. You know, it's just like, okay, like that's at least that's a bit more progressive and less sanitized than everyone just, you know, putting a rainbow on something.
Yeah, it's very
for Pride
easy to
Month.
rainbow clad your company without looking at the structure of your company, the economic structure of your company, you know.
It's also like a lot of companies who are like, oh, it's Pride Month, you know, we're going to change all our social media icons and banners and everything to rainbows. And then none of the money that they make during that time is even going towards an organization that would support that community.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, you wouldn't, I don't know, I wouldn't put up something for, like, you know, Black Lives Matter and sell a product and then not have any profit from that go towards, like, some kind of way of progressing, you know, the health or economy or the systems that, you know, support black communities. You know, I don't know, it really irks me that it's like, oh, okay, you're just going to put a rainbow and stuff and take full profit but not actually support anything.
Yeah. Or they'll do things where like $1 from every purchase made will go to like this organization, and then the fine text is like up to a total of $10,000. You know, so it's like just donate the $10,000. Don't wait until you've made like 10,000 sales to donate $10,000, you know.
And you do wonder, are they making more money by rainbow cladding it than that $10,000 donation?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
are they
definitely.
still making profit?
But also, like, a lot of them will also, if they do say, like, large corporations go, oh, I want to donate this money, we're going to donate, you know, whatever whatever, you put 500 in, we'll match it, right? We'll match 500, right? And then they go, all right, great, thank you. What a great campaign. We raised, $70,000. We're going to donate, $140,000 to this organization. You know that when that company donates that $140,000, it's tax deductible, right?
Right.
So they're just making that money. They don't care about Starlight Foundation or whatever, whatever they're actually donating towards. They don't care. It's actually pure profit. So...
Yeah, it is actually like a very effective way of them sort of appearing more progressive than they are and actually like laundering their image in the public, when actually
we care.
A lot of these companies are fundamentally exploitative companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spotify is a fundamentally exploitative company. It's like, oh, look, we've made a new playlist of queer musicians. It's like, your pay structure sucks for those musicians. They shouldn't be grateful that you've spotlighted them in a new playlist for Pride Month.
Yeah. Gosh, it's a wild west out there.
It is.
Well, yeah, I mean, they will also only do all of this marketing in countries where it's profitable and deemed okay to be gay. They're not doing it in other countries where it's not legal to be queer or the support isn't as strong.
Yeah, they jumped on the bandwagon once it was accepted enough in the broader general public for it to be profitable, to look like you're supporting it.
Yeah.
Where were they a couple of decades ago,
I'm trying to think of like a better... So many people out there, like philosophers, everyone, economists, trying to think of like better ways that to replace capitalism. Do you think there's a better structure than capitalism?
Well, I think that right now we actually have a blended structure. So something like Medicare is actually a socialist structure. Or a socialist initiative. So, when a lot of people say like, oh yeah, I'm a socialist, like I consider myself a socialist, I don't mean full socialism like you've seen in some other countries, but I want more things like Medicare, like more government-owned services, not privatized services. And you could think about that so broadly, like all the transport, all of the, maybe we have like a government-owned social media company that's not for profit or something.
Internet.
Obviously, there's issues with that.
That's huge.
Internet access, absolutely.
Actually, I truly believe
think
internet...
about all these different public services that we can
Internet
have.
should be completely free. It's
world...
It's like water now,
Yeah,
how do you do anything?
In this world, it's a basic need because you need it in order to work, like in
order for your phones to be relevant,
to do your taxes. I mean,
I'm also like a massive proponent for a universal basic income.
Yes, I mean look at Finland. Finland have done an incredible. They gave a base. Everyone has a right to housing, so they have some of the lowest homelessness rates of anywhere in the world. And I think they get about $500 a week as basic income, which is enough for food. They don't have to pay rent because if you're living in the housing that's provided, it's completely provided for by the government. You have to, so that's food, transport, clothing, basic needs, and even enough extra to, go to the cinema or something. And that's your basic income, right? It's a universal income.
Yep.
They have some of the best. Finland is amazing. I'm going to rave about Finland forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, the research is in universal basic income is really, really good. It's also good economically because people have more freedom to change jobs and find better jobs that, pay more, or they can do what they like more. All the health risks associated with stress and poverty go down, so it saves the healthcare system so much money. It's much more of a preventative way of looking at health and well-being than
so you reckon
what we have right now, which is a purely reactive system. It's like you get sick, okay, we're going to fix you after you get sick, instead of let's look at the reasons that people have chronic health problems.
Why did you get
one
sick
is
in the
poverty.
first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out having not all of your basic human needs met is really stressful, and that's terrible for your immune system.
Really bad for you. I mean, and also since we're speaking about creatives and radical subcultures right now, a universal basic income is amazing for people doing creative work. It means you don't have to sanitize your creative work in order to have it fit into the mainstream, and you can say what you want to say, and you have a safety net while you say it.
It also means you can focus on your project without the fear of losing your roof, food, clothing, shelter while you create and be creative. Because,
Absolutely.
you don't know. For a lot of creatives, deadlines can be helpful, but sometimes deadlines aren't always necessary depending on the work that you're doing. So when you don't have a fear of losing anything because you have to reach the deadline for the paycheck, you can create and just create because you want to create.
You could be more in that process and less like, okay, I've got this little chunk of grant money right here and it only lasts till June, so I've got to do this. I've got to make this project like a distinct thing by itself, and then I'll get another chunk of money for another distinct thing.
I'm living like hustling.
And you're kind of like always having to make new stuff as well, rather than just like, okay, what's my practice? Let me just be practicing my work.
You know who supports creative voices or creatives and unique voices? It's 4ZZZ. You should support us and help Z support other creatives and bring you, I don't know, just
Warm in a glow.
warm in a glow.
How many genders are there?
I don't know. I just got here.
Wise words.
I got the money.
Hey, you are listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, and I'm Cai, and I use they, she pronouns.
I'm Ez, I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm Marisa, I use they, them pronouns.
Yo. We're talking about rainbow capitalism, so just...
We sure are.
One of my favorite things to complain about.
I really feel like we've just scratched the top of the rainbow iceberg here, but, you know.
The rainbow iceberg. Oh my gosh, now I want to eat rainbow cake.
Snow cones.
Yeah, or snow cones, yeah. Back to rainbow ice cream.
Yeah, did you want to read something out? Do you want to work up to that?
Well, yeah, like I feel like it was very relevant to what we were just talking about, the ways that capitalism likes to abstract out queer aesthetics and use it for its own sort of purposes without letting that wealth go to the people who innovated those aesthetics, the communities that innovated those aesthetics. And I found this fabulous quote by Alok, who's a gender non-conforming artist, comedian, performance artist, writer, everything. And they say, I think we're in a very perilous moment right now where the ideas and aesthetics that are templated by visibly gender non-conforming people are being abstracted without the due diligence of caring for our material lives. So what I notice is that people will be speaking about gender fluidity, but that has done nothing to make it safer for people like me to exist in public. And so for me, the dangers of tokenization are symbolic economies reduce me to a prop or an ornament, where in fact, instead of being ornamental, visibly gender non-conforming people, Black, feminine, Indigenous, racialized people have to be instrumental, not ornamental. And they conclude so beautifully by saying, what it means then is that it's not just about the circulation of new ideas and new theories and new fashions. Obviously, these things are important, but I'm also saying the circulation of resources, the circulation of responsibility.
Ooh. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, they're just so poetic.
Yeah. I mean, also that line, like, instrumental, not ornamental.
Yes.
Like, yes, please.
The full humanity is there.
Please.
You know?
Also, just, see the value of queerness, transness, see the value that we contribute to society because we have it, not because we're trivialized or some aesthetic value or there to exist for the pleasure of non-queer trans folk, like whether that's in your art or what you create or just in our bodies and our existence,
Absolutely.
Or see the innate value in life and in beauty, and not just like, oh, I can put a price tag on that until it is empty, until we can mine it until it's empty.
Let me just mine this cultural capital until I don't need it anymore, and then...
Or the fad is over, like the whole thing of like, just the rainbows are like of the month, so that's the thing of the month.
Yeah,
so that's what the
exactly.
company goes with for the month. Oh, BLM, that's the thing for the month. It's like, it's so icky. It's such a icky thing.
It's very icky. And I suppose what it makes me think about is, because they mentioned the issue around tokenization in that little quote, and I guess we need to think about how we approach diversity with a bit more thoughtfulness, because do we want to diversify these systems that are actually very exploitative, or do we actually want to change the systems? And can we have diversity without also thinking about the economic well-being of people. You kind of need them both, in my opinion. Like, you need your diversity lens and your economic equality lens.
Yeah. And like what you said, like, do we have to build whole new structures, or can we modify the structures that already exist? Do we have to go full trans anarchist on this? Probably.
Probably.
I mean, like, I don't see, like, for example, the US. How the hell do they get out of their mess now that isn't a full-on revolution?
It's crazy.
I don't know. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think that system does need to be burned to the ground.
Like, the trans anarchists over there, they're fleeing the countries. You know, they don't.
Oh, it's awful.
They're leaving now. They're
people
not.
with
They
queer
can't stay.
kids are fleeing their states and country if they can. You know, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
And, you know, I guess it goes to show that the strategy that corporations have been using, like, oh, we'll just, like, rainbow clad everything, it hasn't actually worked. Like, there's still all this legislation coming through, this anti-trans legislation, really dangerous stuff. So, you know, if someone's going to just diversify their marketing only, that's not going to do anything.
Especially if you're not donating any of the profits to anything.
Yeah,
you're just doing it for
absolutely.
yourself.
Okay.
We're
Well, I'm
coming
glad
to the
I got
end
that
now.
off my chest. Thank you for platforming my...
Transmission, on-air therapy.
Anytime, Marisa.
Thank you.
So you should text in to 0420 626 733 if you would like a free double pass to Desire Maria on Thursday night or to the Queen's Ball, which is this Saturday night. You should message in. We're going to have
text
to, like...
in Queen for Queen's Ball.
Yeah.
And text in
Desire.
for Desire. Double pass.
So you just text us in and we will get you those tickets.
If not, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just we'll find someone else.
On cool cultural events going on around you.
Yeah, what the heck for Triple Z listener? Wait, hold on. If you want to listen back to Transmission on anything, you can listen back on demand. We have up to like 6 episodes on demand. So 4ZZZ.org.au, head over there. You can click on programs. You can find Transmission. You can click on any show on the 4ZZZ bill, whether that be Z Digital or the 102.1 FM frequency. You can listen back. You can check out their playlists. If you've missed a song and you're like, what was that banger? It will be there. And then if you want more Transmission because you want to binge our voices for some odd reason, you can. A Transmission is on social media, so trans with a Z .radio. Head over to Instagram, Facebook, whatever, we're there. And then we have a link which will take you to our podcast. Has no music, unfortunately, but it does have all our content that we've ever done and ever produced on there. So you can go back and binge all 1 year's worth of Transmission, 54 hours of us.
Wow.
Enjoy.
No, not quite. It's not a
No,
full
without
hour.
the music, it's literally half than that. But I can't. I'm not doing math. I can't divide things by 2. I'm not that fast.
26, 27,
26, 27 hours of us. And yeah. Anyway.
My name is Georgie Stone, and you're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.